Hi everyone, in this tutorial I want to quickly show you how to use the different snap modes here in DoubleCAD XT. If you're in your drawing canvas, I'm here in the model space area and you have drawn some kind of shape. It doesn't matter what shape, but you want to snap things together and you can't see your snap toolbar. There are a few things that you can do. So first thing is, if you look here on the far right hand side, depending on how your layout is set up, your user interface is set up, you can see there's a tool section. If you click on it, it will open a new panel, and right at the bottom you will see your snaps, and if that is not visible, just click on this drop down and you will see your snaps. As I've said in my first video on DoubleCAD, I like to use the vertex or the endpoint snap, and that's the same as the vertex in most other CAD, then the intersection, and I always have my magnetic point on. I do not like to use the closest to the nearest point on a graphic that often, and not also the grid unless there's a specific need for it. Another way you can go about it is if you go here in the menu at the top and right click, you will have this new window popping up, and then you go to the end and you just select snap mode so that that bar is active there, and then you can close that off, and now you can place this wherever you like on your canvas or next to your canvas, and you can put it at the top or wherever, whatever is best for you. So I'm just going to put it there for the time's sake, but as I said, you can also have it here at the tools. So I have my vertex or endpoint selected, I've got my magnetic point there, and I've got the intersection. Those are all active, so that's what I want to use in my snaps. So if I now were to select any tool here on the far left, and I select the line tool for instance, and I want to select that specific point over there, I have this no snaps on, and that's why you don't see that little diamond that usually pops up. So you just unselect that, make sure the endpoint is active, and now if I zoom in, you will see there's a little diamond shape there, and now I've selected that. Always zoom in and out when you're busy selecting and snapping, and then you can draw your snap wherever you want. So if I want to now go and snap it to another point, I always zoom in and make sure that I am snapping to whatever point I like, if I want to do it that way. Now let's say you want to apply a snap from the end of this lines point, this end point, to a circle. Let's just quickly draw a circular shape over here, and now you want to snap from that point with a straight line to that circle. So first of all, you go now and select the quadrant point on your snap aperture. You zoom in onto that end of the line because your vertex or endpoint is selected. That will pick up on there. And then if you zoom now to the edge of the quadrant of that circle, you will see that you have to make sure that that is then selected. And if you do, it will snap to a point wherever you want it to go. So you can just hover it more or less above that quadrant, and it will then allow you to snap to that, and you press escape to get out of there. If you now want to snap from that end of the line, you have to make sure that your endpoint is selected and that you are using the tool that you want to snap from, and then you can also just make sure your circle's quadrant is snapped and active, and there we go, and escape, and now you have those snaps then active over there. Now let's say you want to snap somewhere onto the circle but not one of the quadrants. So what I do is I just use one of the waterline tools, or as they describe it as a construction line in here, I call it a waterline tool. I just place it more or less where, let's say I want to have the snap to go to there. I just place a waterline there, then I choose the line that I want to snap, and I'm going to go to that end point that I want to snap from, draw a line from there, and I go and I snap it to that point and press escape out of that, and now I have that reference point for the snap. Let's clear all of this clutter by selecting the selector tool, selecting all of that and pressing delete. Now I have my, let's say this is a wall, and I want to create a wall on the inside, but let's just get rid of that waterline by going to edit, clear all constructions, and I want to draw a wall. Now I'm not going to measure this out accurately, but let's just place that's the inside wall, and then also an inside wall on that side. And now I want to just snap there. This is not accurate, forgive me for that. And now I want to just draw a wall into there. And once again, because I have created an intersection there, you will see my endpoint is active, my intersection is active over there. So that is what I need. So, and I'm going to deselect that quadrant. I don't need that. So now I can just click there and drag it. And if I hold shift, I can drag it as far as I want. Press escape out of that. And if I want to now snap there in DoubleCAD, because it's a free version, you have to go and select the line tool once again, and then make sure you snap to that edge, holding shift and drag it to where you want it to be. So let's just drag it out to there and then escape out of that. And that's how you will snap to an inside corner that you've created manually in using the snaps itself. And let's say you want to now place a JoJo tank or something here on the outside at a very specific distance or whatever. So what you will first need to do is go and draw a construction line that is aligned with the wall's outer edge. And then you will obviously measure out the distance that you want the JoJo would be. Let's say you want the JoJo to be a certain distance, like say over there. And you have specific measurements. So I'm just eyeing it here, but so if you just say that is in the center, you first have to get that center point for the JoJo tank. If it's a circular JoJo tank that you are going to place, so you first have to get the distance away from the wall, the distance away from the corner, whatever purpose you want here. So, and then I have my center lines as a center point, and then I can just add the JoJo tank's distance there, and obviously we'll have a little gap between the JoJo tank and the wall itself, and then I'll just click off on that. So there I have a very specific placement of my JoJo tank. Now you can label it and you can add your water, plumbing and everything that you need. Yeah, and that is how you would specifically snap a certain feature next to a wall. And that is all that I have for now. Have a great time.